If you are planning to travel to or from the United States at any point during 2026, it is extremely important that you understand what is changing right now at airports, border crossings, and ports of entry across the country, because a major new travel screening system is already being rolled out and many travelers are being caught off guard. This new system affects everyone, whether you are a U.S. citizen returning home, a green card holder maintaining permanent residence, a visa holder entering temporarily, or even a visitor transiting through the United States. What makes this change so significant is that it fundamentally alters how travelers are evaluated, who gets pulled aside first, and how decisions are made at the border. For some people, this will mean a smooth and routine entry just like before, but for others, it could mean hours in secondary inspection without understanding why. My name is James, and for the past 6 years, I have worked as a senior U.S. immigration professional. Through Immigration News Today, I have made it my mission to help travelers understand changes like these before they affect their lives. I encourage you to stay with me until the very end of this video because by the time we are finished, you will have a clear understanding of how this new system works, who is most likely to be flagged, and most importantly, what practical steps you can take right now to protect yourself and prepare for your next trip. Before we get into the technical details, I want to take a moment to acknowledge how many of you are probably feeling right now. Whenever people hear that the government is introducing new travel screening measures, the immediate reaction is often worry, fear, or anxiety. Many of you may be asking yourselves whether you will be targeted, whether something in your past could suddenly become a problem, or whether your nationality, travel history, or immigration status might put you at risk. These concerns are completely understandable, especially in an era where immigration policies seem to change frequently and headlines can be alarming. I want to be very clear from the beginning that the purpose of this video is not to scare you. The goal is to inform you because knowledge is power. When you understand how the system works, you can prepare. And when you are prepared, there is far less to fear. As of now, the Department of Homeland Security, working closely with U.S. Customs and Border Protection, has begun the phased rollout of a new program known as the Enhanced Traveler Vetting Initiative, often referred to as ETVI. This represents the most significant overhaul of U.S. travel screening procedures since the Secure Flight program was implemented more than a decade ago. The existence and scope of this initiative have been confirmed through official CBP guidance and reported by major outlets such as Reuters, the Associated Press, and the Wall Street Journal. Everything I'm sharing with you today is based on verified reporting, official statements, and my own professional experience helping travelers navigate U.S. immigration processes. To understand why this change matters so much, it helps to understand how travel screening worked in the past. Previously, when you entered the United States or returned home, your passport and travel documents were checked against existing government databases. These databases primarily contained information about known criminals, terrorism suspects, individuals with outstanding warrants, and people who had already violated immigration laws. If your name or biographic information matched something in those databases, you would be flagged for additional screening. While that system was far from perfect, it was largely reactive and based on known data points. The new Enhanced Traveler Vetting Initiative goes far beyond that. Instead of relying only on static databases, the new system uses what DHS refers to as dynamic risk assessment algorithms. These algorithms analyze a wide range of factors simultaneously and generate a real-time risk score for every traveler entering or leaving the United States. This score is not based on a single issue, but on patterns, behaviors, and connections evaluated together. The higher the risk score, the more likely a traveler is to be selected for enhanced screening, commonly known as secondary inspection. Importantly, this process happens largely behind the scenes, often before you even arrive at the inspection booth. One of the most common questions I hear is what exactly the system looks at when generating these risk scores. Based on official guidance and credible reporting, there are 7 major categories of factors that are evaluated. The first category is travel history patterns. This does not simply mean where you have traveled, but how you have traveled. The system looks for patterns such as repeated travel to countries that are on heightened security watch lists, unusual routing that avoids direct flights, frequent international trips with very short stays, or last-minute travel arrangements. Even if each individual trip was legitimate, certain patterns can raise questions when viewed collectively. The second category involves document anomalies. This includes passports that have been replaced multiple times, discrepancies between names or dates across different documents, signs of document alteration, or the use of multiple passports from different countries. The system is especially sensitive to situations where a person's identity appears inconsistent across various records, even if the inconsistencies seem minor to the traveler. The third category is entry and exit history. If you have previously entered or exited the United States, the system now evaluates your entire history as a single integrated profile. This includes any visa overstays, prior denials of entry, previous referrals to secondary inspection, removal proceedings, or even instances where you were granted waivers or immigration relief. All of this information is now centralized and reevaluated every time you travel. The fourth category consists of law enforcement and intelligence indicators. While this existed under the old system, the scope has expanded. The new system incorporates information not only from federal databases, but also from state and local law enforcement. This means that even minor encounters with police, arrests that did not lead to convictions, traffic violations, or domestic disturbance calls may contribute to your overall risk profile. The fifth category is financial activity, which is one of the newer and more controversial aspects of the system. Certain financial data, such as reports of large currency transactions, suspicious activity reports from banks, and international wire transfers, can now be considered. If your financial behavior suggests potential concerns such as money laundering or tax evasion, it may increase your risk score even if no crime has been proven. The sixth category involves social connections. Contrary to some rumors, this does not mean CBP is reviewing your social media posts. Instead, the system analyzes associations such as who you travel with, who sponsored your visa, who resides at addresses connected to you, and whether those individuals have elevated risk profiles themselves. In other words, your associations can matter, even if you personally have done nothing wrong. The seventh and final category is nationality and country of origin. While CBP has stated that the system does not engage in religious or ethnic profiling, certain nationalities and travel histories continue to receive heightened scrutiny as a matter of policy. Travelers who are citizens of or who have visited countries designated as high risk or state sponsors of terrorism may see an elevated risk score. It is crucial to understand that an elevated risk score does not automatically mean denial of entry or suspicion of criminal activity. In most cases, it simply results in additional screening. For many travelers, this may mean answering a few extra questions and experiencing a short delay. However, for those whose profiles trigger multiple risk factors, secondary inspection can involve lengthy interviews, detailed document review, searches of personal belongings, and in some cases, examination of electronic devices. Certain categories of travelers are more likely to be affected under this new system. These include travelers from or through high-risk countries, green card holders with extended or frequent absences from the United States, individuals with complex or frequent travel itineraries, travelers with any prior immigration violations, first-time visitors from certain countries, individuals carrying large amounts of currency, and travelers who display signs of stress or nervousness during initial screening. Because of these changes, preparation is more important than ever. Travelers should review their travel history for the past 5 years, ensure all documents are current and consistent, understand their physical presence if they are permanent residents, properly declare currency and items, and mentally prepare for the possibility of additional screening. Remaining calm, respectful, and honest during interactions with CBP officers can make a significant difference. To illustrate how this works in practice, I recently assisted a green card holder named Ahmed, who was returning from a short visit to Egypt. Although he had no legal issues and had traveled routinely for years, his travel pattern triggered an elevated risk score under the new system. Because he was prepared and had documentation readily available, his secondary inspection was resolved without serious issues, even though it took longer than before. I also want to reassure seniors and older immigrants that CBP officers are trained to accommodate travelers who need assistance. Interpreters, mobility support, and medical accommodations are available, and being prepared can greatly reduce stress during the process. Finally, it is important to recognize that the United States is not alone in implementing these changes. Other regions, including the European Union, are introducing similar enhanced screening systems. This reflects a global trend toward more comprehensive travel vetting, and travelers should expect increased scrutiny worldwide in the years ahead. As we conclude, I want to emphasize that while the Enhanced Traveler Vetting Initiative represents a major change, it does not mean that travel is unsafe or unpredictable for law abiding individuals. For the vast majority of travelers, the impact will be minimal. Preparation, organization, and understanding are the keys to navigating this new reality confidently. If this video has helped you better understand what is changing and how to prepare, please like, share, and subscribe to Immigration News today. Everything discussed here is for general informational purposes only and should not be considered legal advice. Policies can change and individual circumstances vary, so always consult official guidance or a qualified immigration attorney for personalized concerns. Thank you for trusting me with your travel preparation, and I wish you safe travels wherever your journey takes you.